Hi, I'm Diana Scothorn, founder of the Benefit Link, and now that you know a little bit about traditional Medicare, we're going to go over some Medicare election periods. First and foremost, probably the most common you hear is the AEP. That's the annual enrollment period. This period is every year between October 15th and December 7th. This is traditionally the period that you're going to hear people that are on Medicare Advantage plans make an election change. So they can come from one Advantage plan to another Advantage plan, or they can go from Advantage plan back to traditional Medicare along with the Medicare Supplement, or they can make an election change with their prescription drug plan. Now, this is the only time every year you can make any type of change with an Advantage plan or any type of a drug plan. Please keep in mind that if you're in the period where you're making a change right now, you still, if you're coming off of an Advantage plan, have to qualify. People think of this as being a period where they can make a change regardless of their health and get onto Medicare and a supplement. It only works that way from Advantage plan to Advantage plan. So please keep that in mind. As far as Medicare supplements, you are able to make any type of changes throughout the year. That is a very big misconception in this industry, is people think they can only change their Medicare supplemental coverage at the end of the year. That's incorrect. So it's for your Medicare Advantage plan and your prescription drug plan, October 15th through December 7th. And that is your annual enrollment period. Now we're going to talk about OEP. Now OEP stands for the open enrollment period. And a lot of people get this one confused, and we'll go into that in a minute. But OEP, the open enrollment period, is January 1st of every year through March 31st. Now there's some different things that you can do during the open enrollment period. You can go, as of this year, they made some changes where you can go from an Advantage plan to another Advantage plan, or you can go from an Advantage plan back to traditional Medicare, as well as pick up a Medicare supplement and get a prescription drug plan. Please know that you cannot get a prescription drug plan during the open enrollment to just change from one drug plan to another. You have to be coming off of an Advantage plan, getting back on traditional Medicare, along with the supplemental insurance, and now you would be able to get a drug plan. That's your only opportunity to make any changes with your drug plan. Okay? Got that? So that confuses people sometimes. One of the things during the open enrollment period that is a very, very big misconception is people think when they hear open enrollment, because they think about just turning 65, they don't have to qualify, that you do not have to qualify to make coverage changes. Please keep in mind that anytime you're going from an Advantage plan to traditional Medicare, even in your open enrollment period, you still have to qualify health-wise. Then we have what's called the IEP, which is the initial enrollment period. This is your initial enrollment period into Medicare for the very first time. Either you're just getting on Part B for the first time, you're aging into Medicare, meaning you're turning 65 for the first time. This is when you do not have to qualify. That means that there are no stipulations as far as what type of coverage you could get. Somebody can be in the middle of having chemotherapy or in the middle of about to have some type of a major surgery. They cannot be exempt from having coverage, and they cannot be exempt from having to provide proof of coverage in order to get the plan that they want. That is during your IEP. Your initial enrollment period is 6 months before you turn 65 and 6 months after. During that eligibility period, and that's for a Medicare supplement, 6 months before and 6 months after, you still have the option to not have to qualify in the event you decide, oh, that wasn't what I really wanted. You figured that you wanted to go a different direction. You wanted to change plans. You're still able to do it without qualifying. If you get on a Medicare Advantage plan, the enrollment period, the initial enrollment period, is 90 days before and 90 days after. So an Advantage plan is 90 days before and 90 days after. A Medicare Supplement plan is 6 months before and 6 months after. All right, got that? Now we're going to go to what is called the SEP. These are special election periods. And really there's numerous election periods. I'm going to go over just the most common ones. If you're in question of possibly you have a different exception, please do not hesitate to call because there's an unended list. But the most typical ones would be, number one, losing a plan that is no longer in the area. If possibly you're on an Advantage plan and now you have an election period and it's not October, it's the middle of the year to make an election change and get on either another Advantage plan or Medicare and a supplemental plan. Another would be losing subsidy. Possibly you're getting Medicaid or some type of government assistance financially, and now for whatever reason your income has changed and you no longer require or no longer eligible for subsidy. That would be a special election period where you're able to make any kind of change in the middle of the year. Another one would just be most common, I would say, coming off of group insurance, and possibly you didn't get on Medicare when you were 65. You decided to work until you were 75 or 80 years of age, and now you're getting on Medicare Part B for the first time, or possibly you already have Part B and you're just coming off of your group insurance. That is a Medicare eligibility period as well. All of these are special elections. Again, you have several different ones that you can go as far as special elections. If you have one that I didn't mention that you're in question, please call the number at the bottom of the screen. So we have AEP, which is your annual enrollment period, October 15th to December 7th. We have the OEP, which is your open enrollment period at January 1st through March 31st. And then we have the SEP, which is your special election period, which you have special things, life events that took place that would make you eligible to make a change outside of the normal periods that were required. And then you have your IEP, which is your initial enrollment, meaning your very first time on Medicare Part B or your very first time to turn 65. I hope these election periods have helped you. Again, any further questions, please know we're here to serve you. We're passionate about what we do, and we look forward to hearing from you.